Hello, EEARTS family.
I took her by surprise, guys.
He does that.
It is fun. It's fun. She gets a big gasp like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, this is a favorite topic. This is a favorite topic for many reasons. One of which is that me and Cindy have had some direct experience with what we think is activity related to these deep underground military bases.
Yeah, and it's just really uncanny how many things these parallel up against.
Oh, I know. I mean, you see up here, Shasta. We had great experiences up in Shasta. It was really very cool vibe, and of course, we've lived over right next to Nellis Air Force Base. So we've lived right next to Nellis. We've been through Tonopah. We've been through all these areas. I've also camped up around this area, which is really interesting. Dulce. Oh, the Battle of Dulce. That's a big area with, of course, the famous battle, that supposedly went on between our military and some Greys. A misunderstanding happened deep in one of these deep underground military bases. And I think it was something like 50 or 60 Marines, I believe, that were killed. And it was really only a couple of Greys that were involved, but of course, the weaponry and the technology. And Phil Schneider told us about that one, and Phil's no longer with us. And Los Alamos, Taos up here, Taos, we have the Taos hum. What's that hum from? Is it from a deep underground military base? And it's just interesting to see this and the way this goes, because these are right around military bases, and these military bases are right around areas where there's been unusual encounters, including encounters with giants going back to the times pre-white man.
Yeah, it's almost like a different world, a parallel world that's right in front of us or right underneath our feet that we are not informed about.
No. And, is there a correlation? Let's just throw it out there with missing 411. Cindy just brought that up. And a lot of these areas seem to have a lot of clusters as well. So is there a correlation with that? Do people go missing? Are they taken for maybe some experiments? There's always been these rumors of deals where so many people will be allowed to be taken in exchange for, knowledge on how to, better equip our military with technologies.
Yeah, well, if it were ever truly brought out into the open, I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Oh, no, the uproar. Can you imagine the uproar if the public found out that, some of the people that go missing every year are actually taken away, maybe even off planet for experimentation, genetic material, who knows what? Barbecue.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. So there is a reality to this. There are definitely deep underground military bases that will blow your mind away. And there's a lot of people that have come forth talking about this. John Lear is one of them. And this is an interview with John Lear. And he's talking about the secret aquatic connections and underwater extraterrestrial presence. Some of this will blow you away. He actually says that the Pacific Ocean extends underneath. There's ways to go and bring small submarines, in through some of the openings there, like by Malibu, for instance, where they could actually end up going to, say, China Lake, where there is the Naval Warfare Center. They could go up to Hawthorne. And we've been through Hawthorne. We've seen, all the bunkers there. There's thousands of them. And, it's incredible. They could go to a variety of different places through these underwater passages that lead to these deep underground military bases. Is it any coincidence, like Ridgecrest, the big earthquake there? Where is it? Well, yeah, when we look at it, it's right at the Naval Air Warfare Center, China Lake. And look at all these quakes going on. It's been like this since the big one. And then there was rumors of that being actually, an earthquake that was started by China. There's rumors of that it was actually an attack on the airbase by China. And, these subsequent ones going on still reverberating.
Yeah, they are too. Yeah.
They are. Or are these something else going on? Are they just blowing out more tunnels? You could take a look at them. They're at different depths. That's 10, 11 depths, 6.7, 2.3. This is in kilometers. 8.8, 7.6, 6.8. Now, when you go over here, this is a very interesting area as well, because there was a legendary story of these, gold prospectors who happened to fall through a hole in the desert and ended up finding, bodies of giants and Egyptian and Tibetan artifacts, or what looked to be Egyptian and Tibetan artifacts. And so, this is the same area that they ended up building the naval base on. Is there any doubts as to why? And it's the same thing that we see in other areas. Where Hawthorne is up in that area, we're not too far from Lovelock. And, there's so many legends of giants up in that area as well.
Yes, there are. And they actually have a cover up there where they say that people have seen giants, but not to believe it.
Yeah, exactly. And as I've shared with you guys, we've seen bare footprints in the desert where nobody in their right mind would be walking with scorpions and tarantulas and sand that's 110 degrees. Near a mine shaft, mind you. It was right next to a mine shaft that we saw a bare humanoid footprint. And here we have this swarm that's been ongoing as well. You see Tonopah over here to the west, and there is Hawthorne, and there is Walker Lake. And we've been through here, and we have, poked around in this whole area as well. And Hawthorne, as we were saying, is a massive military bunker and depot. And Walker Lake has signs right on the lake warning you about unexploded munitions. So what's going on with these two? I mean, is this a super volcano moving? Is this Mammoth Lake's, super volcano heading this direction? Is the plume heading this direction? Or is this something else? Is this, again, something related to these underground military bases? It's really, really interesting because when you drive by there, you have this that says Naval Undersea Warfare Center, Hawthorne Detachment. Okay. Undersea Warfare Center? We're in the middle of the desert. We're hundreds of miles away from the ocean.
I mean, this is one of these things that really make you go,
Yes. What's up with that? And, here you see out of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, signs are seen at the Hawthorne Army Depot on Tuesday, March 19th, 2013, where 7 Marines were killed and several others seriously injured in a training accident Monday night. And, this is on the road in between going from Vegas to Reno. Very, very restricted area. We actually stopped and we, started to take some photos, and we noticed some vehicles coming, and they stopped and they were watching us to make sure we would keep moving. Walker Lake is a natural lake, so they say. In the Great Basin in the western Nevada in the United States, it's 11 miles long and 5 miles wide. It's actually beautiful to behold when you're driving in the middle of the desert, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's this pretty lake right there. So the lake is fed from the north by the Walker River, has no natural outlet except for absorption and evaporation. Community of Walker Lake, Nevada is found on the southwestern shore. And again, this is an area that is known for giant activity as well. And here we see the Naval Air Weapons Station, China Lake, in-depth overview. So I'll give you guys the links. Now they say they picked China Lake because of the weather and the resources, location as well. they don't say anything about picking it because the giants were already had, underground cities there.
Right, exactly. They don't mention these details.
Yeah, but is there any? I mean, for me, I think that's why. I have no doubts. It just feels right to me.
Well, yeah, because they were already there, and definitely.
So the town of Hawthorne in Nevada harbors a big 18 by 8 mile lake called Walker Lake. It houses a guarded naval undersea warfare center. This amazing lake has not one structure to support the locals enjoying a swim or some fishing, but does have some kind of base along its western edge. And it's been associated with some pretty amazing conjecture as well. The area is listed as being a fleet testing and logistics area in Hawthorne. Are they testing submarines in that lake?
What's coming to my mind is those USOs, those underwater submersibles.
Oh, like a USO
Yes.
instead of a UFO.
Yes.
Interesting. So, for some time, there's been talk of a potential opening in the shelf of California near Port Doom, near Malibu, that submarines can go into the water, underland, all the way to Walker Lake, approximately 395 miles. The Paiutes have a legend of the Masuvs, a giant and advanced people who went underground in the west when the glacial lakes began to dry out. There are theories that the water went underground, and they did too, into enormous caverns rich with water and possibly the same watery caverns used by the military to track to Walker Lake. This would possibly tie with the military to ongoing interactions with the ancients, aliens, giants. What do you think about all that? And then we got this 1650 map, which shows California to be an island. Now, supposedly this was just a misjudgment by Europeans on the map showing California as an island, but was allegedly perpetrated by other map makers who continued the error. But given the area from Imperial Valley, California, up through Death Valley, which was once filled with water, and into western Nevada, where Lake Lohontan once was, that's Lovelock Cave area, there are lots of reason to believe that the area was filled with water at one time, which might have given the impression of California as an island. But the waterways dried up thousands of years ago, or it retreated during seismic activity to an underground site. So, did it really, though? Because, we had gotten a small piece of land over in this area, and we found sponges on it. And I don't think those sponges are thousands and thousands of years old. I might buy 400 years old.
Well, sponges, coral, stuff like that. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's on desert. That's at about 2,700 feet elevation, dry as a bone.
Yep.
But yeah, an abundance of sponges and coral and things like that. I really don't think we're talking that long a term before that was underwater.
Our history books really need to be rewritten.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating to think of. And here you can see this actual structure. Now, is that natural? Does that look natural to you? A little more than 6 miles off the coast of Point Doom in Malibu, an unusual looking structure sits on the seabed floor. Based on images obtained by Google Earth, the oval-shaped object has a huge flat top and what appears to be pillars or columns that seem to reveal the entrance to a darker inner place. Interesting. It's approximately 2,000 feet below the surface of the water. It measures nearly 3 miles wide. Wow, 3 miles. I think you probably get a sub in through there if that is an actual opening. So this could be the holy grail of USO info, right? What is going on here? This is fascinating stuff, is it not?
Yes, it is. And these pillars are like so perfect.
Yes. I mean, just look at them. Look at how straight. As we know, nature doesn't usually do perfectly straight lines. And so, this is talking about that passageway all the way up from Malibu up to Walker Lake. And just a fascinating thing I wanted to share with you guys. there's way more than meets the eye. We've discovered so much stuff roaming through the desert, over in these areas, China Lake and up at Hawthorne and all along the whole way of Nellis. Really fascinating stuff.
Oh, truly, truly is. Yep.
So, as always, guys, we want to thank you for your support here on Ko-Fi. Keep your eyes to the skies and maybe at the beach, too. Just who knows if we'll see a whole bunch of ships one day rising up out of the water, coming up into the air.
Maybe it'll just be commonplace one day.
Maybe. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.